Hey loves, it's Britt, and in this video I'm going to talk about what it means to have your Venus conjunct to someone's Jupiter in Synastry. This amazing aspect, I can't believe I haven't talked about it yet. This is one of the most fortunate or favorable aspects to have in your Synastry, so your relationship chart comparison. This one, if you have it, consider yourself lucky. There is a lot of good and not so much negative about it. So basically, right off the bat with this aspect, there is a feeling of warmth and openness and even generosity on the part of actually both partners. The Venus person really sees the Jupiter person in a high light. Like they feel like the Jupiter person is someone they can trust, is someone who is pleasurable to their senses. They can really feel like and like it can be so funny because it's so beyond, like, this aspect is not a particularly sexual aspect or romantic aspect, but it's like the Venus person really just gets a lot of pleasure and good vibes and good feelings from being around the Jupiter person. And the Jupiter person can feel like they just want to give to the Venus person. Like this could be one of those aspects of like a sugar daddy or sugar mama where Jupiter is the one doing the giving, but they're doing the giving from such an openness that like it's not a transactional giving. It's not like, certain Pluto aspects where it's like, well, I'll give you this, but you give me this. And it's like this, deal, right? Venus conjunct Jupiter in Synastry is like giving from the warmth of your heart and soul without expectation of anything in return. And you feel like when you give to each other, you actually receive more than you give. So this is one of those aspects that they say in the books traditionally, this is an aspect of wealth increase or fortune. So this is a person that can feel like your lucky charm. The Venus person can greatly increase their sense of self-worth through interacting with the Jupiter person. The Jupiter person really can see the Venus person in all their beauty and glory. Like the Venus person can be like the muse to the Jupiter person, and the Jupiter person can be like a guru to Venus. This aspect is great for basically all types of relationships. In a friendship, this is an excellent aspect to have too, where it's just that friend that you want to give to. You want to either, sometimes Jupiter can be giving in a financial sense, but it can also be giving in the form of wisdom, where when Jupiter's talking with Venus and sharing their wisdom, they feel like they're actually benefiting just as much as they're giving. It's this beautiful thing with Venus and Jupiter conjunct where, whatever we give, we receive. Now, on the downside, which there isn't too much of a downside, but the downside could be is that you feel so good together. You feel so lucky together. You feel so open together and just so happy together, that this could be a more reckless aspect. It could show up in a relationship where maybe you gamble or you just overspend or overeat. That's the thing with Jupiter. That's pretty much the only downside of Jupiter is like all the good feelings. You can encourage each other to be sort of hedonistic with this aspect. So, if both people have a tendency towards extravagance or wastefulness or, being sort of pleasure seeking or oriented in that way, that it could be unhealthy, then this relationship is going to bring all of that up even more, and they can definitely overdo it together and overspend together and, become overweight together or just overindulge together. So that's basically the downside is too much of a good thing. But you also want to look at the sign that this conjunction is taking place in, because that's going to be a dominant theme of the relationship. And you want to look at which house it's happening on both. If you have both of the birth times, you want to look at the house that this conjunction is taking place in on both sides, because that is the area of life that gets to be blessed by this relationship. So yeah, it's definitely a favorable one to have. A lot of good feelings, a lot of positive energy, giving, gratefulness. This aspect is so heart-centered that that feeling when you just are just so grateful that someone exists. You're just like, I'm so glad that I know you and I have you in my life. And this isn't like an aspect of needing to keep someone locked down or tied up in a cage or whatever. Like, it's not an aspect of wanting to keep someone all to yourself. It's almost more like, you're letting the bird fly away, like, be free, my love. And you want each other to be free and explore life and get out there. And this one tends to be like, if you do break up, there is that certain element of grace and like, and you could have other things going on that would overpower this, but this aspect, because it's so open-hearted, it's so like freedom-oriented, this could be a relationship that you could remain friends and you could continue to see someone in a positive light, even after a breakup. So that's one of the gifts of this aspect, is that you can let each other be free, you can let each other be yourself. That's another thing about Venus Jupiter, is like, you can be yourself, and in being yourself, you grow through this relationship. There's a lot of growth in this relationship. You both feel like that you're expanding each other's life in some way. You're growing to become this better person together. And usually you are, because through the heart and through generosity and these qualities that are basically like higher soul qualities that get to come out here, you do become better. And this relationship is definitely one of those relationships that does improve your life and improve your self-image. And yeah, you're able to see in another someone who you can be open with, be yourself with, and grow with. Yeah, it's a really good aspect. It doesn't necessarily show, like I said, longevity in a relationship because of the freedom that you want to give each other with this. So without more Saturn aspects, this doesn't show that there's that desire to lock this down or be a couple. It just shows that there's a lot of warmth and loving, good feelings, and even idolization of each other you can have with this. But it's interesting, like, it's not like a Neptunian idolization or fantasy or illusion. It's actually like you're seeing each other for what you truly are at the highest level. Yeah, so a lot of good in this aspect, not too much to worry about except for what I said. If you have this one, consider yourself lucky. It's a very, very good aspect. It's probably, like, if I could have a top 5, like, really good aspects to have in Synastry, I would put this one in there, because yeah, we got the 2 benefics, Venus and Jupiter. You can't do much wrong with that except have too much of a good thing. So this is a relationship that's memorable, and you both become better people through your love. And Jupiter can exert kind of a fatherly role over Venus and be like a supportive, protective influence over Venus and increase Venus's self-worth, wealth, and they both can have a wealth increase, but it does, because Jupiter is the more masculine planet here. It does seem to be that Jupiter can do more of the giving, and Venus can really bask in the receiving. So that can feel really, really good and really addictive for Venus. So yeah, great aspect to have. Thanks for watching, you guys. Talk soon. Bye.